Hey everyone, welcome back to my podcast. What you just heard is a very popular song in the Netherlands, and is actually the Dutch national anthem. I am almost 100% Dutch in my ethnicity. However, I have never heard that song before today. Alright, today we're talking about something that a lot of people have noticed in the younger generations. The fact that the importance of culture and religion has gone down among American teenagers. Now, before we move on to bigger ideas, let's first analyze what culture is and means. Brian Ott and Robert Mack explain this concept in their article, Cultural Analysis, where they state that culture is rhetorical. Culture functions symbolically. Possessing culture is not natural or inherent to our biology as human beings, but rather as a result of our shared symbol systems that allow us to communicate meaning to one another. This means that culture is sustained and transmitted exclusively through the words and images that carry significance for members of the culture. As the article explained, culture is carried through the symbols and messages we share. And since teens now get these symbols from digital spaces instead of church or family traditions, religion and culture naturally just become less central in their lives. This shift shows how different today's cultural influences are compared to past generations. To see what those older, more traditional influences looked like in real life, I talked with my grandma about the values she was raised with, in an interview I will play for you now. Alright, I am here with my grandma, Sandra Vandenberg, and I'm going to ask her a few questions about her side of the family, the Facuses. Grandma, where does the last name Facus come from?
It's a Dutch name. It's kind of embarrassing, but it means to be hot-tempered, actually like an angry woman. Really looking at the dynamics of my family, my grandpa was very hot-tempered and very stern, and so that kind of was fitting with what our name means.
All right. And where is our family mainly located from?
They came from from Holland, the Netherlands. I'm not sure which exact district, because Holland is kind of broke up. I'm not sure exactly what area they came from, but they definitely came from Holland. And my grandpa came over with his family when he was like 13 years old. So he wasn't born in the U.S. He came over on Ellis Island and came over with his family.
Wow. Do you know why they migrated to the United States?
Basically because of the war.
Oh.
Because the war was there and they just really felt they needed to get, and they were farmers. And so, land was very limited in Holland, and so they wanted to come to the U.S. because they figured they would be able to find land and be able to be productive here in the U.S.
How do you think our family has changed over the generations in terms of culture, beliefs, or lifestyle?
Well, I'm just looking at the kind of the diversity of kind of our faith. My parents were very strict. Very strict. I was the only one in our family who sent my kids to the public school, and that was a huge issue with my family. As far as culture, I don't know that we were affected so much of culture. I can remember when we got a TV, but we were very limited on when we could watch the TV. And even on our Sundays, my parents were very strict. Their religion their faith was very strict. We couldn't play with friends on Sunday. We couldn't play cards on Sunday. They were very, very, very strict on that.
Was there any Dutch culture that you learned from your grandparents or from your parents that you put on to your kids?
I think the work ethic.
Okay.
I think Dutch people are very much hard workers, very much working for yourself. You make your own way, you make your own keep. And I feel like that was handed down to me because things weren't just given to me. I had to work for things that were given to me. And I think I really kind of passed that on to my kids also. They were responsible to get jobs. We didn't just pay their way through college. If they went to college, they had to pay their own way. We just didn't give that to them. We bought them their first car, but then after that, they had to get their own. And I just feel that we wanted them to not just be spoiled. I
Yeah.
mean, you had to make your way. You had to earn your keep.
All right, so you said that the family value of like religion or like the religious upbringing has changed over the generations,
Yes.
correct? So what values or
Yes.
beliefs do you think still run strongly in our family?
Oh, that we believe in God, and that only through Jesus Christ can we be saved. That has been prevalent. Saved by grace. I think for my generation, it was less of how your appearance is important. Like I can remember my parents being very upset when my brother got in trouble because, oh my gosh, it put a mark on our family, a black mark on our family.
Oh.
Appearances were so important, and I don't feel that was part of my life. I hope at least I did not put that pressure on my kids that they had to be perfect.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't perfect. And so if you make a mistake, you forgive them. I mean, I guess you love them unconditionally. You love them for who they are and what they are. And if they're going to make mistakes, so
Yeah.
you love them unconditionally because that's how God loves us.
Yeah.
And so that was very important to me.
Great.
And I guess I didn't have that being brought up. I didn't feel loved unconditionally. I felt like I had to be like a certain person in order to be loved in my family. I don't feel that now at all, but it
That's
took
good.
me years to get beyond that, especially
Yeah.
with my dad. I did not have a good relationship with my dad because of that. I felt like I was never good enough for my dad. And I never wanted my kids to feel that way. And I think sometimes I have failed in that respect that I at least I hope they don't feel that way.
Okay, well, that's all the questions I have.
Oh, that was easy. Gosh,
Yes.
I can just keep